Hey guys, Stu here, and you're at the YouTube channel Stewie Snakebite, where I bring you everything that I love in regards to slithery stuff, scaly stuff, and some creepy crawlies thrown in for good measure. I'm just chilling here with my boy Moose, about to bring you the first installment of my exciting new series, Fangtastic Fridays. So what I wanted to do with Fangtastic Fridays is bring you my love for natural history, researching different animals and finding out some amazing facts about them. So every Friday, or that's the plan, I'm going to bring you a new species of venomous snake, and we're going to talk about where they're from, what they're doing, their behavior, their venom, and give them an overall deadly rating. We are then going to put them up on the coveted fridge whiteboard and potentially get a top 10, if not top 20, most deadly snakes on the planet. Now, as you guys know, Moose, sadly, is not one of our deadly snakes. He is a ball python. He could kill you with cuteness, I guess. Trying to talk about a king cobra and then this guy's in there. But for the most part, he's pretty harmless. The snake we're going to start off with is, no offense Moose, my personal favorite snake on this planet, the Ophiophagus hana, or the king cobra. Now, the king cobra is the largest venomous snake on the planet. It can come in at a whopping 5.5 meters, which is 18 feet. The largest ever recorded was 19.2 feet. That's a terrifying image. You've got a snake that packs a wallop of a venom and is coming in at just under 20 feet. Now, they reside in Southeast Asia, primarily in places like India, Thailand, and Malaysia. Now, as part of Fangtastic Fridays, we are going to get a little bit scientific and a little bit geeky, because that is what I love to do. So firstly, we're going to break down the scientific name of the king cobra. So Ophiophagus means snake eater. Hana comes from the ancient Greek mythology of hamadryads, which were tree spirits or tree nymphs that lived in and on the trees, and ironically would die when the tree dies. I say ironically just because the king cobra sadly is at a vulnerable status. That's its conservation status right now, which means it is moving towards threatened. Now, the sad thing is, and why I said ironically, with hana spirits or dryads, they would die when the trees die. Now, the main reason for king cobra populations in the wild depleting is degradation of their habitats and human deforestation. So we really need to make a concerted effort, guys, to move forward and keep this amazing snake alive. So interestingly enough, they are the only cobra with the name Ophiophagus. Most cobras will fall in the Naja family, Naja coming from the old Sanskrit word for snake. Now, there is a couple of differences between the king cobra and a normal cobra, which kind of sets it apart and gives it that Ophiophagus mantle. Primarily, its diet, the fact it does eat other snakes. Secondly, its scale pattern on its head. And thirdly, its hood. Now, most other cobras' hoods are a lot more impressive, a lot wider, and will show off much more body span. A king cobra's hood is actually slightly longer and narrower. So that is the main three reasons that is not considered part of the Naja family. So if you haven't seen a king cobra before, I'm just going to insert a little image now. The king cobra's body is primarily olive green, with white and black bands going all the way down its body. It does have these amazingly sentient eyes that when you look into, they do kind of pierce into your soul. They're kind of an orangey gold color with these big black pupils. Now, they are one of the most intelligent snake species on Earth, and you can really get that when you look into those eyes. They're super alert, super on the ball, and you can just see them watching everything. Now, interestingly enough, primarily that is due to the fact that they see movement. Movement for them is everything. They don't actually have color vision. So 90% of all their vision and their hunting skills will come from that movement. As we spoke about sight, it's only proper that we talk about hearing as well. Now, like most snakes, cobras are pretty much deaf, so they do really rely on their eyesight and their next most important thing, their Jacobson's organ. Now, the Jacobson's organ is what snakes will take all of the data that they collect on their tongue, and they will take to that Jacobson's organ, which will help them digest all of the information that they're taking in from the world around them. The scents, the smells, even stuff like the humidity. A cobra can actually use its tongue and its heightened sense of taste to find water to drink. Now that's pretty impressive. That Jacobson's organ is definitely working overtime in the king cobra. Since we spoke about the king cobra's sight, its hearing, and its amazing sense of taste and smell, we should now probably move on to that really devastating venom. Now, the king cobra's venom is primarily comprised of cytotoxins and neurotoxins. Those are two pretty heavy hitters in the venom world. Now, cytotoxins can cause necrosis of the wound site. So where the snake has bitten you, the flesh around it will eat away at itself and degenerate and can lead to amputation. It can also lead to respiratory failure and diaphragmatic paralysis. So your lungs and your diaphragm will just stop working and it will give up. The neurotoxins will attack specific nerves in your body. Now that can lead to cerebral hemorrhaging and comas. Now that's pretty hardcore, guys. So as if all of that wasn't bad enough, the king cobra's venom also carries a pretty potent protein called ohanin. This protein in mammalian species can cause hypolocomotion. So this is where your body starts to slow down, you start feeling very sleepy. And this is something that is seen when we as humans go under general anesthetic. So it's kind of the same as really slowing down when that anesthetic kicks in. In addition to that, and I might be pronouncing this completely wrong, it can cause hyperalgesia. Please comment below if I've pronounced that wrong. Now what this does, it damages your nerves and it will cause a super sensitive response to pain. So in conclusion, their venom's pretty gnarly. So for those of you who are really experienced with venomous snakes, you will know what an LD50 is. For those of you who aren't, I'll quickly explain it. So an LD50 is the lethal dose median. So to test the potency of a snake's venom, they will take a sample size of rats or mice and they will inject, normally intravenously, into the rats or mice an amount of this venom. Now they will record how much is injected into the rats and mice and they will stop when 50% of that chosen population or that chosen kind of control group is dead. Once 50% of that population, that control group of rats or mice is dead, they will record how much venom it took to get that amount. So lethal dose 50. So how much venom it would take, normally it's per kilogram of rats or mice to kill 50% of that population. So in a sense, the lower the number, the deadlier the snake. So to give you a clear example of LD50 ratings, the most venomous snake on this planet, the inland taipan or the fear snake, has an LD50 of 0.0025 milligrams. On the other end of the scale is the European viper. If you're from England, we just call it an adder. Now that has got around an LD50 of 4. Now there's the two extremes. So the lower the number, the less you want to get bitten by it. Now the king cobra's LD50 is around 1.28 mg per kg. Now that's still a pretty devastating venom. Now the thing that sets king cobras apart isn't the toxicity of their venom, is the dose it can administer. On average, a king cobra on a normal bite can deliver 420 milligrams of this venom. Now if you're saying a king cobra's venom can kill 50% of a kilogram of rats or mice using only 1.28 milligrams, then the fact a full-grown king cobra can without any issue deliver 420 milligrams of venom in a single bite, that is where everything kind of sets in. This snake is a giver, that is for sure. To kind of wrap up the venom section, Thailand's National Health Department recorded the cases of king cobra bites that came in. In 35 cases, 10 resulted in fatalities, and the scary part is some of them were even treated with anti-venom. On the back of that, the University of Adelaide in Australia found that 60% of all king cobra bites will end in a fatality. This is a snake that will grow to 18 to 20 feet, that can bring a third of its body off the ground in a fret posture. It can be the same size as a fully grown adult man in a fret posture. It can deliver 420 milligrams of venom in a single bite when only 1.28 milligrams is needed to kill half a control population of rats or mice. This is the true king of venomous reptiles. Now, because I don't want anyone who's watching this video to run for the hills in terror, to break down in tears when they see the Malaysian king cobra at London Zoo, I'm going to give you 2 tiny little fun facts about the king cobra that will probably warm you up to this often misunderstood giant venomous reptile. The first fun fact is that male king cobras have found a pretty nifty way of resolving territorial disputes without actually getting bitey. They have wrestling matches. You heard it, wrestling matches. So the 2 males will kind of hood up, bring that front third of their body off the ground, and will literally try and pin their rival to the ground again and again. Now, when the rival is finally pinned to the mat, he must leave the territory in disgrace, and then the other is left to bask in his glory and to rule his roost as the dominant alpha male. So we've had a really fun fact about the males of this species. It's now time to have a really fun fact about the females of this species. The fun fact is that they're actually pretty decent mothers. So they're the only snake on the entire planet that builds nests to lay their eggs in. A female king cobra will take a ridiculous amount of time meticulously building the perfect nest out of fallen leaves, twigs and sticks. Once the perfect nest is built, they will lay their eggs in there and, believe it or not, stand guard on these eggs. You wouldn't really think that a cold-blooded killer would necessarily have such a soft and tender side, but they will stand guard onto their eggs until they hatch. Now, it's not all cuddles and kisses and fluffy time, sadly, because there is an innate behavioural trait within female king cobras that they will actually leave and abandon the egg site prior to the eggs actually hatching. It's normally a few days, just something instinctual happens in their brains and they know that they have to leave. Now, the sad reason is because they have the name Ophiophagus for a reason, and ultimately a king cobra mummy who's been 2 months without food because she's been watching eggs isn't going to turn down a buffet of tiny little defenseless baby king cobras in front of her, even if they are hers. So in conclusion, guys, the Ophiophagus hannah, the king cobra, is a key player in the world's most deadly and venomous snakes. It has the LD50 of 1.28. It can deliver a crushing bite which will administer up to 420 milligrams of venom. It can reach lengths up to 20 feet and has that amazing eyesight and awesome taste and smell receptors. So it is a key hunter, player and venomous reptile. Now, because this is the first installment of Fangtastic Friday, the Ophiophagus hannah is going to go number 1 on the coveted kitchen fridge whiteboard leaderboard. Over the next coming weeks, we will explore loads more venomous snakes and see how they stack up. Now, some will move down, some will move up. We'll see how it goes. What you guys need to do is you need to like, comment and subscribe. Click the bell button so you don't miss a single Fangtastic Friday, and put in the comments below which venomous snake you'd like me to do next. Other than that, my name's Stewie Snakebite. This is my buddy Moose. Have a great week. Be amazing to yourself, be amazing to your animals, and put into the world what you want to get back. Peace.